All right, let's get back to it.
But they lost Saturday. I think they played on Saturday. Would a loss Saturday undermine the credibility of Baltimore's offense? It would.
I think when it ended the way it did in San Fran, the credibility was already questioned. And right now, you're hoping that Lamar, like if you're Greg Roman, you're hoping Lamar Jackson can somewhat substantiate this offense as a real threat. And not something that is just like a flash in the pan, but then once the smoke clears, you're fine after that. Like, he's hoping Lamar Jackson is able to succeed in this offense and carry this team to a Super Bowl, because then it would give his offense validity. So it's been questioned. I don't think anybody, I think people like me who are questioning it right now, I'm not questioning it. It's questioning its effectiveness right now. I'm questioning the ability to sustain this kind of thing. I just don't think it's there.
It would. I have to be realistic with that, even though I don't like the critics, the naysayers.
Yeah, because why would we sit here and trash Lamar Jackson? He's a brother. He's a brother. We supposed to support our black brothers. No matter how many questions you have, you're supposed to support these guys, because we don't get that many of them. We got a shitload of Brady's and Breezes and Roethlisbergers and Bradshaws and Aikmans and fucking Elways and Montanas. We don't have that many Cunninghams, Warren Moons, Michael Vicks, Donovan McNabb, Patrick Mahomes. You know what? I don't even know what fence Patrick Mahomes falls on, like what side of the fence he falls on. But I'm gonna throw him in there. Like Lamar Jackson. We don't have that many guys like that. And I understand, man. You want more opportunities for black coaches. You want more opportunities for black quarterbacks. Because a lot of times getting cornered or getting backed into a box, you're only good for doing certain things. You're not, you don't have what it takes to, I guess, run a successful franchise. It can kind of get to you. But, if there was ever a black coach that was able to have the success of a Bill Belichick, he'll get a fucking job. He would get a job. I don't know if it'll last, but he'll get the fucking job. Look at Mike Tomlin. Look at Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis was one of the most overrated coaches in the history of the NFL. This dude was so overrated. And he was so bad. I'm not going to say he was so bad at his job. He was just so overrated at what he did. He kept his job for so fucking long when people were like, yeah, I think Marvin Lewis needs to get fired. People were saying this shit for the last 10 years. But he kept his fucking job. Come on, man.
People who are sitting there on that edge, ready to pounce on this situation.
They are ready.
Because as soon as they see any form of failure, without even looking at the complexion of that failure, what if they score 46 points and lose like the Saints did when they were playing the 49ers? They still going to pounce on this offense and say, they didn't control the clock and keep the other team off the...
I got to say this. If a team, if an offense performs at their best, but the defense fails them, then it's a team failure. If the defense is performing at their best, but the offense can't score enough, it's a team failure. See, and we're getting so used to shifting blame on everywhere. Who's responsible? We're shifting blame, we're shifting credit. It's instead of just holding everybody, because they preach this all for one and one for all, but you see more players than a little bit that will throw other people under the bus just so they don't have to take responsibility. Why can't it just be a team failure? Why does it have to be, the offense let them down, or the defense let them down? Come on, it's a team failure. This is a team game, is it not?
Whitlock saying that too.
My dog will be here. So my thing is, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's in life, and it's in this style of offense. We see it all the time. You start something, an invention. You create something. If you don't see that through, it fails. And then people on the outside would say, look, I told you that wasn't going to work. I told you that was a gimmick. That's why it failed. The real reason it failed is because you didn't keep the belief to be persistent enough to get it to its goal.
What the fuck is this? The spirit of Christmas? Like, what is this? You didn't believe hard enough, so the magic went away. Oh, fuck. Now we're going into make-believe, okay? Now we're delving into make-believe. You don't believe in the offense enough, that's why it failed. Like, come on, bro. Oh my God, this is hilarious. We're not dealing with NFL offenses anymore. We're dealing with the spirit of fucking Christmas. You have to believe hard enough.
Bill Walsh failed his first year. Bill Walsh failed his second year. Bill Walsh didn't fail any time after that. This offense is in its first year with this team and this player in Lamar Jackson. Ride it through no matter if you win or lose.
You want to go? I don't want to take your point.
No.
You want to go?
You always seem to go. Go ahead. I'm happy.
Well, it does undermine it. And the football purists and traditionalists will sit there and they will pounce. And they will say that we told you so. We saw it with RG3. We saw it with Kaepernick. We've seen this before. Stick to tried and true. That's the first point. The second point is, and I think it kind of follows your point, Marcellus, is when you're looking at the total whole of the scope of this game, what will the defenses bring to this weekend's game? What will Tennessee's defense bring to the game? What will Baltimore's defense bring to the game? And I think that will play a lot into what comes out, what plays out in this game. So if Lamar Jackson and this offense is able to have a very, very successful day, but they lose this game, it'll still undermine it because they did not have enough to win the game. But I think that in the nature of which they win or lose will play a definite role or part as to how we identify if it was a failure or if it was gimmicky offense.
First of all, I don't think they'll lose the football game. I think they're that good. But I think if they do lose the game, I think people say, well, they ain't played in 3 weeks. You know, why didn't you play the starters the last game? You know what I'm
That's right. Because some of our favorite teams and players, they're nothing but excuse makers at the end of the day. They're nothing but fucking excuse makers at the end of the day. Eric Dickerson is hitting it on the fucking nose. They're nothing but excuse makers. It's not enough that you lost. It's not enough that you didn't play well. Oh, man, you know what? We just didn't get enough time to get out there and actually fucking play against a real team. It's kind of, if anybody's ever seen the movie The Longest Yard, it's been out for so long. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it at this point. But The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, where they told one of the prisoners to stand up and throw a ball just to see who could quarterback. Or, the guy that was imprisoned, he was the quarterback. And one of the prisoners stood up and was like, well, how come you got a quarterback? Why can't I quarterback? So they threw him the ball. He threw the ball so fucking lousy. And his excuse was, yeah, I ate popcorn before I did that. So I wasn't ready. Like, nothing but fucking excuses. Nothing but fucking excuses. And that's exactly how these teams work. Like when LeBron James hurt his hand in the NBA Finals or something, and he came out with a fucking stocking cap wrapped around his hand and said that I had a hand injury, so I wasn't able to play at my peak potential or whatever. Like, just excuses. There should not be any excuses. If this offense is as dangerous as people believe, if this offense is as great as people believe it is, they should win this game. Now, the reason why New England lost last week, and this is real shit, the offense is terrible. They could not put points on the fucking board. Not enough anyway. And I believe Tennessee, they got the right matchup at the right time and they took advantage of it like they should have. But they shouldn't get the same opportunities to fucking bury this team like they did New England. If that offense is as great as it is, there's no way, like, with Tennessee putting up 14 fucking points, and that should be good enough to win. Unless your defense plays out of their fucking mind. Which I don't think they will. But, we'll see.
But then, after that, they'll say, well, Lamar Jackson got hurt. Why'd you play him? You didn't have to play him. So, that's the only part I worry about. When you come back and you ain't played in 3 weeks, I think it's going to take them to get, it takes you a while to get in rhythm. But I really believe that this offense, no one has an answer for it yet. They haven't found it.
And that's the key word, yet. Because this league is known for it. They will figure something out. This won't be... They're going to have to change. Next season, they're going to have to change if they want the success they had this year. They're going to have to find ways of changing it around so that way nobody can pinpoint what they did this year and how to neutralize it. Teams that go into new seasons when they had crazy success the previous year and they go into the next season thinking that it's going to work just the same usually end up being fucking failures.
That's for it yet. You know, you kind of slow it down. You have moments you can stop it. But I think that you can't score with them. You know, run the football. They always say run the football is not popular in today's football, but that's how you win football games. But Lamar Jackson does it so different because as fast as he runs, and when I watch him on film, he reads the defense just as fast. Everything he does is fast. Like, you don't run fast, now you read defense is slow. So to me, I think that this is going to be the new wave of quarterbacks. You know, if they win the Super Bowl. And
I'm not going to sit here and say that Lamar Jackson does not read defenses at all. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say the extent of his defensive reading is probably not as great as people make it out to be. Because it's not hard when you're standing in a pocket, when you see open receivers, to throw it to that open receiver. Or if you don't see open receivers and the defense is bearing down on you, for you to get the fuck out the pocket. I'm not saying his job is easy. I can't do it. I know I can't do it. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people that can't do it. Like, I'm talking like a massive number of people that can't do what he can do. But I'm not going to sit there and act like this dude is fucking Peyton Manning out there being able to audible the different offenses based on how many cornerbacks or how many fucking safeties or where they're positioned or how many linebackers is out there, how many defensive linemen is out there. And I'm pretty sure he's not doing all that. I'm pretty sure he's just seeing if there's anybody open. Are they taking whatever it is that we're, you know, whatever we're baiting them with, and where are my openings? Or do I need to get the fuck out the pocket and go? Like, it's very simple, but it's not easy to replicate. Like, it's not easy for anybody to do that. It wasn't trained to do that, but I don't think that he's fucking out there like Peyton Manning, Omaha in every fucking 5 seconds. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it.
And I think they'll win the Super Bowl if they get there. I think everybody would be looking for a Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to tell you what's already started the undermining process of this offense. Almost win or lose this weekend, and I certainly think it'll be undermined if they lost this weekend and the offense struggled in any way. But the biggest knock on this offense didn't even happen with the Baltimore Ravens. It's the hit Jadeveon Clowney put on Carson Wentz. That's the solution to this offense. That's an ugly solution.
That's what you got to do. Like, if you want to beat this team, you have to hit Lamar Jackson as many times as you can. As many times as you can, as often as you can, without getting fined too much. Put a hat on him. Hit him. Bump him. Force his body to make contact with your body and show him, all right, this, if I get hit, this is going to hurt. I may get injured. Like, so make him second guess it. If you make him second guess one attempt out the pocket, you survive that much longer. Like, seriously. You have to put a hat on him. You have to.
But that's what football does, and that's why I'm disappointed the league hasn't come down incredibly hard on Jadeveon Clowney. It was a dirty hit. I think it was
It wasn't a dirty hit. It was not a dirty hit. I watched that, and I was unfortunate that Carson got hurt, but it wasn't a dirty hit. We've seen dirty hits. Go back and look at some of the shit that Ndamukong Suh has done. Vontaze Burfict. And then you tell me if that play right there was fucking dirty.
Calculated dirty hit, and it's the kind of hit that somebody desperate playing Lamar Jackson will try to do to put an end to this offense.
And do you know whose responsibility that is? That is the Baltimore organization and Lamar Jackson's responsibility to make sure no player gets a cheap shot on you. No player gets a shot at you. And I'm not saying he shouldn't run. I'm saying you run when it's absolutely necessary for you to run. and then you make sure you get out of bounds, or you make sure that you slide and you get right back up and you get where your teammates are, so that way you're not back there with the fucking defense and they can just do whatever the fuck they want to do to you as long as they don't get fucking ejected or something like that. But you make sure that you keep yourself in safe situations. That's his responsibility.
And that's why they needed to come down really hard on Jadeveon Clowney. This kid is the biggest star going in football. They need to protect this style of quarterback. And that was a dirty hit. And that, to me, in a desperate football game, that's what desperate people do. They cross the line.
But you're supposed to do whatever it takes to win. I'm not saying to bodily harm somebody just for the fuck of it. But I'm saying if it helps you win, you got to do what you got to do. If it helps you win. But I'm not advocating fucking trying to fucking kill somebody with a helmet. I'm not advocating anything like that. But as long as it's in the parameters of the rules, do what it takes to win. Do what it takes to win.
That's what I think has everybody afraid. If he gets hit the way Carson Wentz does, has concussion, the offense, poof,
Gone.
Well, everybody's been afraid of that for any quarterback. But the thing is that now, when a quarterback runs, if he slides, they're not going to hit him.
Right.
Now, Carson Wentz didn't slide.
forward.
He was forward like a runner. Now, if that had been a running back,
That's how Lamar died.
Hold up.
Watch him. That's how he died.
but hold on, if that had been a running back and it got hit like that, been no big deal.
And that's and I think that's the difference in
That's
your
the
argument.
difference.
The difference is Lamar Jackson knows how to handle himself as a running back. If you're already a victim where I'm a quarterback, if I get hit, it's going to hurt me. No. Other players out there, I'm getting hit. I know I'm going to get hit. But you got to get
There's
to
no way to protect yourself from that dirty hit Jadeveon Clowney did. And I've seen Lamar Jackson
I agree with
dive
that.
forward in the exact same fashion.
Yep.
And that's I couldn't stand that play. And I'm afraid we could see something like it again this week. I hope I'm wrong. Thanks for watching.
All right, so that's pretty much it, man. I can't wait to see the game tomorrow. Hopefully, I see a good one. I don't want to sit there through something that's going to make me just turn it and watch something else and wait to the end of the game. I'm hoping that I can enjoy the game at least. But good luck to the Titans. Good luck to the Ravens. Hopefully, Lamar Jackson is able to stay relatively healthy. If he does lose, I want him to lose on the field. I don't want him to lose because he was hurt and he was, forced to go to the fucking locker room. I think that's unfortunate, and I would never wish for anybody to get hurt in that fashion. But as long as it's in the rules of the game, as long as you're inside that box, do what it takes to win. And I think the Titans are going to do that. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm saying they're going to use every tactic they can to beat this team. And I'm all for it, and I can't wait. All right.